Welcome to another episode of Creator Daily. I'm your host, Michael, covering the top news stories, latest strategies, and emerging trends in the overall creator landscape. Today's lineup is packed with some intriguing updates. Reddit is making moves with a new AI training deal utilizing user content. Next, we're handing out 6 Instagram story strategies guaranteed to boost your follower count. Also, we're discussing MrBeast's leap into traditional media limelight with his recent Time magazine cover story. Big news for podcasters. YouTube views are now factored into Podtrac's global podcast rankings. Independent musicians, listen up because we're diving into Groover, a platform designed to help with your promotional efforts. We'll touch upon a personal loss for former YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki. And finally, Meta's stepping up its game by testing out new fact-check markers on Threads. Stay tuned, we're unpacking all of these stories right after this quick break. Reddit has just inked a new AI training deal with an unnamed major AI company, giving it the rights to its treasure trove of user-generated content. This arrangement, estimated to be worth around $60 million annually, is part of Reddit's broader business strategy as it gears up to become a publicly traded entity. Historically, AI firms would train their algorithms using freely available data from the internet, often without explicit permission. This practice has come under legal scrutiny, leading to a shakeup where companies are now securing proper rights to the data they use. The exact details of Reddit's partner remain under wraps, but this deal is notably more lucrative than OpenAI's reported $5 million yearly offers to news publishers. It's even in the same ballpark as Apple's attempts at sealing multi-year contracts with key news organizations, with deals that could be worth upwards of $50 million. Reddit's bold commercial move follows an October report where the company allegedly threatened to block Google and Bing from indexing its site, implying it could survive without conventional search traffic. The site has demonstrated its willingness to throw its weight around before, notably pushing back against the largest protest in Reddit history, and subsequently making changes to their third-party API access pricing. On the financial front, despite increasing its revenue by 20% by the end of 2023, Reddit fell $200 million short of its $1 billion revenue goal. As it stands, advisors suggest a $5 billion valuation for the soon-to-be public Reddit, a steep decline from the $10-15 billion it could have fetched in its aborted 2021 IPO before market instability interfered. The public offering is expected to take place in March. Reddit's moves solidify its position as a valuable player in the AI data landscape and a savvy negotiator in the business domain. If you're looking to expand your brand's presence on Instagram, implementing a few key strategies can really help grow your reach. With such an active user base, think over 1 billion people and 500 million using stories daily, the room for impact is huge. But the trick is to approach the platform with both strategy and creativity. So how do you stand out? Well, setting clear, achievable goals for what you want to accomplish with Instagram stories is step 1. Whether it's driving traffic, increasing engagement, or just creating some buzz, understanding your endgame is essential. Here are some handy tips to consider. Start by providing more info through the swipe up feature in your stories. This can direct viewers straight to your website or product page. Then don't hesitate to broadcast live to create a sense of urgency and promote active participation. Remember, storytelling is key. Visual narratives can build an emotional connection with your audience. So think about how to showcase your brand's story compellingly. It's not just about the product, it's the story behind it that can leave a lasting impression. Also, collabs matter. Partner up with influencers to boost brand awareness. And don't overlook the power of micro or nano influencers who are making waves in 2024. And don't forget about paid advertising. With users spending a good chunk of their day on Instagram, it's worth investing in adverts to expand your reach. Combined with a consistent posting schedule, your visibility can really climb. Lastly, get interactive with polls and questions to engage your audience directly. This not only sparks interaction, but can also provide valuable insights into your followers' preferences, guiding your future content and marketing strategies. In sum, growth on Instagram requires a mixture of creative content, strategic planning, and leveraging the platform's unique features to engage with your audience. YouTube sensation. Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mr. Beast, has landed himself on the front page of Time magazine. Celebrated for his swift rise on the video platform and labeled the most watched person in the world, the Time profile delves into Donaldson's beginnings in North Carolina, his disruption of the YouTube content landscape, and his efforts to remain profitable amidst industry changes. In the feature, Mr. Beast shares his vision of future independence from sponsors, aspiring to use his own companies for video promotions instead. Notably, his food venture Feastables is a key financier, accounting for a significant portion of his revenue in its second year. But it's not all rosy. Time didn't shy away from the controversies surrounding Mr. Beast. Several former employees criticized the safety practices of his production team, suggesting a casual attitude could be a liability. An exclusive video accompanies the profile, providing a glimpse into the creation of Mr. Beast's high-budget content pieces, although fans of Mr. Who's the Boss might find these behind-the-scenes looks familiar. This isn't the first accolade from Time for Donaldson. He was recognized in the magazine's Time 100 ranking previously, with friend and fellow creator Mark Rober highlighting his influence in the creator economy. In a move to reflect the evolving landscape of podcasting, Podtrac has just rolled out a new global podcast ranking, which, for the first time, counts YouTube views alongside traditional podcast metrics. This initiative is designed to offer a comprehensive view on podcast performance, aimed at serving the needs of advertisers, agencies, and others in the industry. The inclusion of YouTube data comes after a growing interest in the platform's influence on the podcasting world was observed over the past year. According to Mark McCreary, the founder and CEO of Podtrac, industry feedback highlighted the need to recognize YouTube counts to provide a complete picture of a podcast's distribution and reach. Interestingly, the first batch of data revealed that corporate-produced podcasts are raking in a notable share of their views from YouTube, a contrast to independent podcasts which, like those hosted on Libsyn, see a much smaller percentage of their traffic from YouTube. Still, the silver lining for indie creators lies in discovery. YouTube has been identified as a strong platform for this, especially with short episode clips attracting significant views. Yet full episode viewership is what Podtrac focuses on in their ranking to avoid skewing the data with shorter content. On top of these insights, Podtrac's research points out that personality-driven, full-video podcasts tend to do well on YouTube. With this in mind, they suggest YouTube could enhance its podcasting efforts by prioritizing video-first content that can translate to audio only, and by encouraging YouTube Music subscribers to integrate podcasts into their listening habits. Independent musicians often face a daunting challenge breaking into the spotlight as traditional means of promotion become less effective and the industry itself becomes increasingly crowded. Fortunately, there's a beacon of hope for these artists: Groover. This Paris-based startup, founded in 2018, is shaking up the music promotion game by connecting independent artists with a network of over 3,000 music curators. Artists can submit their tracks to these curators who not only provide valuable feedback, but also help to amplify the music they believe in. With co-founder and CEO Romain Palmieri at the helm, Groover has raised a significant $8 million in a Series A funding round to expand their services in the US and enhance the platform with new features like coaching and promo resources. Their business model is unique. Curators set their own fees for listening to submissions. Profits from each transaction are split equally between the curator and Groover, and here's a plus. If a curator doesn't listen to a submission within 7 days, the artist gets a refund, although 90% of submissions are heard within the required time frame. While some may be skeptical of the pay-to-play nature of this approach, considering the decline in music journalism and the rise in the number of independent musicians, direct connections between artists and curators may be the most viable option. Palmieri points out that these independent artists generally lack better, cost-effective methods for promotion, and Groover provides a valuable solution. The system is also beneficial for the curators who are on the lookout for exceptional but undiscovered music. It offers them a more direct way to earn for their efforts and makes their job slightly easier. Although Groover isn't the only startup aiming to support small artists, With others like Gig Finesse streamlining bookings and payments for gigs, it shines as an example of how innovation is providing tangible solutions within the music industry, benefiting both artists and the professionals who help lift them to their potential. In a heartrending update from the tech world, Susan Wojcicki, the former CEO of YouTube, is grappling with an immense personal loss. Her 19-year-old son, Marco Troper, tragically passed away from what appears to be a drug overdose while a freshman at UC Berkeley. His grandmother, Esther Wojcicki, shared the devastating news, noting Marco's vibrant character and academic promise. Susan had previously stepped down from her position at YouTube to focus on family and personal endeavors. UC Berkeley officials stated there were no indications of foul play and investigations into Marco's death are ongoing. The family is in deep mourning and, through this tough time, they hope to raise awareness about the risks college students face with drug experimentation. The Wojcicki family, widely recognized for their professional accomplishments in Silicon Valley and beyond, is now using their voice to possibly prevent similar tragedies in the future. This incident is a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in drug use and has sparked conversations about the fragility of life. It's a sobering moment for parents and youngsters alike to remember the importance of being vigilant about the substances they encounter. In the ever-evolving landscape of social media, Meta is taking a new step in combating misinformation by introducing fact-check markers on threads. These markers are akin to the ones already prevalent on Facebook and Instagram, aimed at providing users with factual correctness on the platform. Meta, aware that political discussions are inevitable on threads, is gearing up to tackle false narratives, especially with the anticipation of AI-generated deepfakes possibly influencing various global polls occurring this year. Meta has initiated testing in some regions, displaying fact-check alerts in threads, mirroring the established practices in its other apps. Although the fact-checking system on Threads is in its nascent stage, Meta plans to introduce specific tags for threads in due course. This move by Meta reflects a stark contrast to the approach embraced by X's owner, Elon Musk, who advocates for community-driven fact-checks through the platform's Community Notes feature. Musk's strategy hinges on the belief that such community-powered verification empowers the people to determine the authenticity of content, as opposed to relying on third-party professional organizations. However, this method has its critics who underscore its vulnerability to scale and susceptibility to infiltration by biased parties, thereby raising concerns about the manipulation of information, especially during election cycles. Fact-checking has shown to hold significant sway in reducing the spread of misinformation, as studies indicate that labels can decrease the intention to share false news. By adopting fact-check markers, Meta is looking to deploy an effective deterrent against misinformation. Additionally, Threads is designed to opt users out of political content by default, which should ideally reduce political traction on the platform. Nevertheless, Meta is taking proactive measures to ensure the integrity of discussions and content shared on its platform, all the more critical during politically charged periods. That's a wrap on today's episode of Creator Daily. I'm your host, Michael, and it's been a pleasure diving into the latest in the creator world with you. Remember to check the show notes for all the links and additional info we talked about today. That's your goldmine for resources and deep dives. If you've got thoughts, questions, or just want to connect, shoot us an email at creatordaily@podcrafter.com. We love hearing from you, and who knows, your message might just make it onto the show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed our time together, consider leaving us a review. It helps more creators like you find the show. Until next time, keep creating, stay inspired, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Creator Daily. Thanks for listening, and have an amazing day.